Thanks for joining me today. Today we are going to be learning about how awesome schedules are. And if you haven't been using them, you've been missing out. So we're going to start by, creating a schedule. I pretty much just set up a project, just threw some walls in there, some out-of-the-box Revit families, mostly receptacles. I threw in a couple of our panel families we created. I tagged some elements. I threw in a couple different receptacles just to give it some variety. So now we're going to go create a schedule. So if we go to View, Schedules, and then Schedules and Quantities, or if you right click on Schedules, you can hit New Schedules and Quantities. So from here you're going to get like a choice of what type of family you want to schedule. So up at the top we have multi-category. This obviously is going to allow us to schedule multiple family types. The only issue with that is you only be able to schedule common parameters. So most of the times, you're probably going to be looking for a specific family category. So in this instance, we're going to try and schedule some of these receptacles. We can kind of show you how this works. So we're going to click on electrical fixtures here, and we're just going to call this test schedule. So from here, you're going to get this screen where it shows you all the available fields, which basically are all the parameters, all the shared parameters that are available, shared or project parameters, shared or system parameters, excuse me. You're going to have to go to our training on parameters to kind of get an understanding on what all those different types of parameters are and how they work. So for today's, we're gonna push family and type. We're gonna come over and we're gonna do count, and then we're gonna start there and just kind of show you how this works. So if we hit OK, you'll see that it's gonna list every single instance of an electrical fixture in your project, and it's gonna give you a count of 1 because there's one of every single one. But if we go back over here to our filter and sorting and grouping and formatting and appearance, we can start to change the way the schedule looks. So if we wanted to filter out all of our weatherproof receptacles because we're trying to schedule interior wall plates or something like that, we can go in here and we can see, okay, there's nothing we can filter by. Well, there you're going to learn that there's some limitations with what we can do with schedules, and we're going to kind of be required to do some workarounds sometimes to make these things awesome. So we'll come back to this filter, but we're going to go to our sorting and grouping now. So we can sort by family and type here. And then if I hit OK, you're going to see how it puts everything in order. If we go back into our sorting and grouping, we can uncheck this itemized every instance, and you're going to see how it's going to get you a count of every single receptacle placed. So like I said before, the main reason we're creating a schedule here is we're going to try and figure out how we can get a good count on our wall plates for our receptacles. So we're going to actually have to add a field in here then. And we're going to come down here where it says new parameter. We're going to create a parameter for our electrical fixtures. We're going to call it, basically we got to figure out a way to separate our weatherproof from our standard receptacles. So I think I'm going to call this interior. And then I'm actually going to make it a type parameter, because I only want to have to choose, hit the checkbox that we're going to create for each type. So if we come down into our parameters here, you can see I selected yes, no. Basically, these are how the parameters are going to act. So text, obviously you can type text in there. Integers are going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number, we can type any kind of number we want in there. Length, etc. We'll go through all these in a different training. So we're going to choose yes, no right now. And then you can choose where you want to group this later on, but we're going to just choose other for now. Alright, so as you can see, this came in grayed out. Grayed out means it's not yes or no, so we have to tell it whether it's interior. So it's giving us this pop-up. This change will be applied to all elements in this type. If we hit OK, I'll kind of show you what that means exactly. So if I go back to my sorting and grouping, and I itemize every instance again, you can see that it actually did it for more than one element. So it's going to do the same thing for our standard duplex receptacle as well. So when I check interior, you can see it applies it to all of them. So it's going to be the same for weatherproof as well, except for we're going to uncheck it because it's not an interior. Cool. Alright, so if we go back to sorting and grouping, we're going to uncheck this again, and you're going to see we have 2, 13, and 1. Alright, so with the schedule, we want to be able to filter out our exterior receptacles in. So we can go in here and now filter by interior, and then we can say equals yes, and it's only going to show us our interior receptacles. Perfect, right? So if we want to take this a step further, we can add another parameter in here. So let's go back to fields. We're going to go over here and hit new parameter, and we're going to call this plate type, and we're going to make this one an instance parameter, and we're going to call this one a text parameter. And we're going to hit OK. We're going to see this thing popped in now, and actually I'm going to go to my fields. I'm going to push this up because that'll change the order of the elements here. So basically, I'm going to go back to my floor plan now, and I'm going to say that room 1, all the plates for our interior receptacles should be blue. So let's select these and filter them out. I'm going to check none and select all my electrical fixtures. And then I'm going to hit shift and uncheck the exterior ones. So now I just have my interior ones. I'm going to go over to plate type here. I'm going to type in blue. And then I'm going to do the same thing over here. Select all those. Same thing, filter out. Pictures. Holding shift and then get rid of the ones I don't want. I have just my interior one selected again. I'm going to go to plate type and then hit red over here. Going back to my schedule, you can see that these GFCIs, there's 2 of them and they say red, and there's 13 of them that say nothing. So the reason for that is there's varying information in this cell. So we need to go into our sorting and grouping, and we're going to sort by another layer. So we're going to sort by family and type, and then by plate type. So we hit OK. You're going to see that there's 8 duplex standard receptacles that should be blue, and there's 5 that should be red. So that's pretty cool, huh? I'm going to show you one more quick thing with schedules for today. We're going to go in here and we're going to create a new schedule in Quantities. It's a pretty handy trick. I use this on a lot of projects, trying to find elements that are maybe placed wrong, or if they're showing up in the wrong view or something like that. So I'm going to go down to electrical equipment this time, and we'll create a schedule with one parameter only, panel name. Sure. So in this schedule here, I can see that there's 3 panels placed in this project: MP1, EM1, and LP1. If I go to my floor plan, I see that we only see 2, MP1 and EM1. So where is my 3rd panel? Which one was it? MP1 and EM1. So it's the LP1 panel. So if we click on this, we can actually hit highlight and model layer. You can see that it's selected. So if I hit close, you can see that this was placed incorrect or it got moved way off in space. So from there, I'm going to hit MV to move this back into place. And I found my panel to be able to take it again. Very cool. That is your quick lesson today on Revit schedules. We're going to go more in depth in some of our future episodes. So join me again. Thanks for joining.